Dad died last night. The funeral is on Friday. He left everything to me. You get nothing. Hi everyone. My name is Ethan Brooks, and my sister said that to me over the phone with the kind of calm that only comes when someone thinks they've already won. I didn't interrupt her. I didn't argue. I just looked at the man standing beside me. Very much alive. Dad was leaning against my kitchen counter, holding a cup of tea, listening to every word through the speaker. My sister kept talking. About lawyers. About papers. About how she'd handled everything. How I should be grateful she even called. I muted the phone. Dad's face didn't show anger. Just disappointment. The kind that feels heavier than rage. So, I whispered, I guess I'm officially disowned. He shook his head slowly. No, son, he said. She just told you who she really is. I unmuted the call. My sister was still going. Already planning renovations on a house she didn't legally own. Dad stepped closer to the phone and said quietly, calmly, with no emotion at all. It's you who lost everything. And I watched her confidence shatter in real time. The line went dead. Not even a goodbye. Dad set his tea down without a word and walked to the window, staring out like the trees might offer some kind of answer. I sat in silence, letting the moment settle in. She really thinks I'm dead, he finally said. She wants you to be, I replied. The truth was, this had been coming for years. After Mom died, my sister Lila grew claws. Manipulated his accounts, isolated him from friends, got power of attorney signed while he was recovering from surgery. He noticed. He didn't say anything right away, but he noticed. 2 months ago he came to me. Quiet. Ashamed. Said he was faking his death to escape the legal mess she dragged him into. Said I was the only one he trusted. I helped him vanish. Signed the death certificate myself. Legally forged under advice from a lawyer who owed Dad more than one favor. Now she was dancing on his grave, not knowing it was a trap. I looked at Dad. Still want to go through with it? He didn't flinch. She buried me for a bank account, he said. Let's return the favor. And that's when the real plan began. We didn't need revenge. We needed proof. Because when someone fakes your death legally, every step becomes evidence. Especially when the other party's eager to claim what isn't theirs. Lila moved fast. Within 24 hours of calling me, she'd contacted our dad's financial advisor, his lawyer, even the real estate office that handled the lake house. She presented herself as the grieving daughter, gave a tearful story about a sudden heart attack, and how Dad had left her everything. She even started cleaning out his bank account. Wire transfers. Property listings. She filed to liquidate his assets, including the family home, and sent in a forged copy of what she claimed was Dad's final will. Problem was, the real one was in my desk drawer. Notarized. Bulletproof. And left everything to a trust under my name. Dad stood beside me as we watched her lie her way through every document. You sure she's not adopted? He muttered. She's your masterpiece, I said dryly. We gave her rope. She kept pulling. And then finally she filed for a tax exemption on Dad's death, using his social security number. That was the trigger. And the IRS was already watching. You can lie to your family. You can lie to your lawyer. But you don't lie to the IRS. The moment Lila submitted Dad's social security number for a death exemption, claiming estate deductions she wasn't entitled to, the system flagged it. See, when a person dies, their SSN is locked. Any activity after that? Instant audit. The kicker? Dad's number was still active. Because he wasn't dead. 2 days later we got a knock on the door. IRS agents. Quiet. Professional. Curious. I handed them everything. The Real will, the legal death request signed under false pretenses, the recorded call where Lila told me, he left you nothing. And the best part? The video. Dad, alive and well, stating on camera that he had never intended to transfer his assets to Lila, had never authorized a new will, and was fully capable of managing his own affairs. They didn't even blink. One agent just said, "This'll be fast." We gave them everything, then stepped back. Let the system do what it was built to do. By the end of the week, her accounts were frozen. And her lawyer? Filed a motion to withdraw, citing client deception. Lila called me the next day, a blocked number, desperate breath on the other end. What did you do, Ethan? I didn't answer right away. Let her sit in it. My accounts are frozen. They're saying the will isn't valid, that Dad's alive. He is, I said calmly. And you knew that when you filed false documents. Silence. Then, where is he? I laughed. You really want to see the man you tried to bury alive? What for? Another signature. Her voice cracked. I was just trying to fix things. You don't know what he put us through growing up. I let out a slow breath. Maybe. But this wasn't fixing. This was theft. She switched tactics. Okay, look. Maybe we settle this. Quietly. You and me. You take the house. I'll keep the stocks. We don't need to drag this out in public. Oh, it's already public, Lila, I said. You filed a death certificate for a living man. The IRS knows. Probate court knows. The family will too soon enough. Another beat of silence. Then Venom, you were always the pathetic one. No, I said softly. I was just the quiet one. You mistook silence for weakness. The court date was set within a week. Probate fraud, falsifying legal documents, attempted estate theft. The charges stacked like bricks. Lila's lawyer, now court-appointed, tried every trick in the book. Mental distress, grief, confusion, clerical error. But none of it held. Because Dad? He walked into the courtroom alive. Gray-haired. Calm. Suit pressed. Eyes sharp. The gallery gasped. Even the judge froze for a second before adjusting his glasses. Mr. Brooks, he said, are you confirming under oath that you are indeed the man my daughter tried to erase for a check? Dad finished, voice steady. Yes, that's me. Lila refused to look at him. Sat stiff in her chair, jaw locked. We submitted everything. The video, the forged will, the death certificate she filed without medical verification, the financial transfers. The judge didn't even need deliberation. Will revoked. Assets returned to Dad's name. Court costs assigned to Lila. But the most brutal blow? The permanent disinheritance clause. Effective immediately, the judge ruled, Lila Brooks is barred from receiving, requesting, or accessing any portion of the estate. Dad leaned over to me and whispered, now that's an obituary she'll remember. The news spread fast. Within hours of the ruling, every cousin, aunt, and second-hand acquaintance who once praised Lila's grace under grief, now pretended they never believed Dad was dead. Family group chats lit up. Old friends reached out. Neighbors stopped pretending not to know. But the real blow didn't come from the courts. It came from the trust. Mom had left a contingency clause in her original estate plan. One she and Dad had quietly agreed on years ago. Any family member proven to engage in fraud or malice forfeits all inheritance, including residuals. We'd never seen a reason to enforce it. Until now. Dad invoked it. The family trust issued a formal letter to Lila, informing her she was permanently removed from all current and future distributions, including the shares in Mom's scholarship fund, the vacation home revenue, even the burial plot rights. She was erased. Not out of spite, but consequence. I sat beside Dad on the porch that evening, watching the sun fold behind the trees. You think she regrets it yet? I asked. He sipped his tea, calm as ever. No, son, he said. She only regrets getting caught. A month passed. Lila disappeared from everyone's lives like smoke. No texts. No holiday calls. No apology. But I didn't need one. Closure doesn't come wrapped in forgiveness. It comes in knowing you did not stay silent. Dad and I spent Thanksgiving together that year. Just the two of us, same kitchen where Mom used to hum while mashing potatoes. Her favorite photo still hung above the sink. The one where we were both kids, covered in mud, and she didn't even care. She would have hated this mess, I said, carving the turkey. Dad nodded. She also would have loved that you finished it clean. He handed me an envelope. Inside, the deed to the cabin up north. The one I used to draw in crayon maps to as a kid. She always told me it was my kingdom. She wanted you to have it, Dad said. And so do I. I didn't say much. Just nodded, holding back the kind of gratitude that feels too big for words. Lila tried to steal a legacy. What she lost was a family. And what I gained was everything she never understood.